Welcome back to the Ricky Matthews Show. I enjoyed that conversation with Michael Watson, and we'll continue that conversation in the very, very near future. There's a lot to talk about. Hey, JT Mitchell's head of SuperTalk Mississippi News and I last Friday has had, in part of our conversation about the news, we reflected a bit about the new mayors along the coast of Mississippi and then all over the state of Mississippi, including the city of Jackson. In fact, we'll have the mayor of Jackson on the show soon and talk about this incredible effort underway there to bring the focus on leadership and helping the city of Jackson realize its dreams. And it's just fun to watch. And you know what's interesting? It's not Democrats or Republicans. I think it's just Mississippians and folks from Jackson working together for the good of that city. And it's really good to see. So I congratulate the mayor on that effort. Now we're going to shift gears, and I've decided to invite someone who I've worked with in the community for many, many years. I have a tremendous respect for him. But he's the new mayor of the city of Gulfport. He's been on the show since he got elected. But it's Hugh Keating. And let me ask Hugh to come on in and just say, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning, Ricky Matthews, and good morning to SuperTalk. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to visit with you.
Hey, listen, I just right off the bat, let me say, watching the hurricane hit Jamaica and how severe that really was is a reminder of what could happen here. And man, we were lucky. We've been lucky. We were especially lucky this year not to have to deal with it. But man, I'm thrilled for you that as a new mayor, you didn't have to deal with something like that, because there's plenty to focus on without a hurricane to deal with, isn't there?
You are surely correct, Ricky. We were watching that thing very closely. We've got a preparedness plan that we do role play on an annual basis before the season, and as the season progresses, if necessary, we activate that again. But fortunately, thus far, we are blessed and haven't had to crank that mechanism up, and we're just praying for the people who were devastated. That was a comedic-like storm, and is a comedic-like storm, which you know how that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of Camille versus and Katrina all together. So we're still learning about the impact, but obviously it has not been good. And a lot of us have been to Jamaica. We know the people of Jamaica, and we feel for them. And I'm sure there will be efforts here to reach out to help them however we can, just like I'm sure they thought about us after Hurricane Katrina. That's for sure. Hey, listen, one of the things that you and I have talked about, and every mayor has to deal with, coming in as a new mayor, let's assume the city council doesn't change at all. They're still getting to know you. And in spite of the fact that you've been a city attorney and you understand all the issues that a city faces, you still have to develop relationships and try to understand the flow. And then, of course, when you have new council members, that makes it even more dynamic. How do you view sort of where you are with your council at this moment?
Well, we're getting to know one another, particularly the new members. The ones the incumbents who got reelected, I've had good relations with them for a long, long time, and we know one another. We know our personalities and our thoughts about various positions, and most we agree on, a few we don't, but we still work together and try to find that common ground. With regard to the new council people, everyone is, I think, making a concerted effort to learn about the issues that cities are confronted with. We got a good taste of that during the budget process, and made a lot of progress. We've got one of our council persons, Ron Rowland, was injured, and he's been in recovery for several months. And so we've got a 6-member council, and as mayor, I do not get to vote to break a tie in a mayor-council form of government, except in one instance, which is very, very rare, which I won't go into because it'll take too much time. But we're working hard to get to know one another and making progress, and I believe we've got a lot of good things on the horizon.
Yes, it would take a whole show to really kind of break down the the budget issues that I watch very closely. You think about, one of the, it's not sexy, Hugh, but it's something you got to focus on, and that's infrastructure. And then you start thinking about, public safety and the challenges the city faces around that. And you cannot ignore what needs to happen within the Gulfport Police Department to support their efforts. So, I mean, and it just blossoms from there. There's no shortage of opportunities. And at the end of the day, given the funds that you have available to you, even if you even had a surplus, how do you use that and allocate those resources in a way that gives the city the best opportunity to protect people and to prepare itself for economic development? You're former, city attorney. You know this extremely well, but it's hard to come in as a new council person if you haven't been engaged in all of these issues and understand the layers of the onion. I mean, you can peel back 10 layers and you think you got it, and there's 20 more layers, history and all the other things that go with it that are still to learn. There's a lot to learn and to be patient during that process. For someone like you tend to be patient and at least in your outward approach to things. But does it help you or hurt you that you were a former city lawyer?
I am convinced that it has been an asset to have that knowledge. We hit the ground running after we got sworn in. I mean, it was pretty much a seamless transition. We knew what the issues were. We knew the challenges. We knew the opportunities, and it's much easier to find ways and means to deal with those issues and to cover what we need to cover, to present the facts clearly. It was very helpful, the experience as being outside general counsel. And prior to that, I represented the Planning Commission for 25 plus years on an as-needed basis, not full time, but I've been around municipal government in a lot of different ways. It was very helpful. I'll commend my new council people for working hard to, our new council people, I should say, for working hard to learn as much as they can, as quickly as they can. Drinking water out of a fire hose, you've heard that term many times, and that's kind of where we were in that budget process. The capital improvements, we had funds through the MIMA program and through GCRF and other sources of revenues for capital improvement projects. We need more, as every municipality does. We've got some major roads or connector roads, arteries that need to be widened and overlaid and improved. Right-of-way acquisition costs are off the charts, as you can well imagine. So those are some challenges ahead of us to find ways to raise the funds to be able to complete those projects, which have been on the books for way too long. But our general fund is what we pay our daily operating expenses out of: fire, police, parks and rec, municipal court administration, finance, etc., planning. And I think you've heard me say this before, and I hope you'll allow me to just comment on this for a moment. The online sales tax, which is in fact a use tax, when it finds its way back to the municipalities, is a net loss as compared to your traditional sales tax over the counter. So when you order online from Gulfport, you are unwittingly reducing the amount of money that the city is going to receive in tax revenues. I understand, the world in which we live, it's too convenient not to shop online, and there's so many options and alternatives. It's something we all enjoy, but we've got to find a way to offset that diminishing return. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to have some meaningful conversation with our leaders in the legislature this year to help municipalities. It is particularly problematic for large cities and areas that are tourism oriented, because we've got visitors coming in, and we want to project and put our best foot forward and project the best image we possibly can. And we're confronted with diminishing general fund revenues.
Yeah, that's not a good position to be in. That is for sure. And hopefully we can find some solutions related to that. But when we come back on the other side, we're going to continue our conversation with the mayor of the city of Gulfport, Hugh Keating. And I want to talk about what's his biggest surprise as the mayor. I mean, he's been around mayors all these years, but he's the mayor now. What's his biggest surprise? And how does he think about crime these days? Because he has such an important responsibility related to that. We'll see you after this break. Welcome back to the Ricky Matthews Show from the Citizens Bank Studio, visiting with the mayor of the city of Gulfport, where the port of, Gulfport is the port that belongs to the state of Mississippi. Gulfport has such an important part of Mississippi's history. And Hugh, as a lawyer, as he mentioned, he was the lawyer for the Planning Commission, lawyer for the city of Gulfport. Now he's the mayor of Gulfport. He understands that history extremely well. So this is an important conversation for you, whether you live in Corinth or Gulfport. It's really important. Hey, listen, real quick, before we get to the two items that I mentioned before we went to break, I just want to congratulate you on finally working with developers to wrestle the redevelopment of that corner of Highway 90 and 25th Avenue, or 49, as people might know it. I have had owners of that land on the show. I've had various developers along the way. There's always been this great vision. But, when you start talking about that, $100 million plus development with mixed use connected to it and all that comes with that, you're talking about a really, really significant shot in the arm to downtown Gulfport. As I believe life will continue to come back, mixed use will still be a conversation we have even beyond this. But it sure is good to see that one beginning to get closer to breaking ground, isn't it?
We're so excited about that project that's commonly referred to as the town center. 200 1 and 2 bedroom upscale apartments, 300 to 400 residents, depending upon the average there. That's new pedestrian traffic for downtown area within walking distance of all of our restaurants and the retail we have, which I think it'll generate more. It'll be a magnet for small businesses. I see a lot of interest occurring right now in acquiring properties that are vacant to redevelop, to get in on the action. And this is the front door to the state of Mississippi. The Highway 90 and 49, that's the first place people will see when they get off the cruise ship that's coming in March. It's a boutique cruise line. You may have heard about that, and we're really excited about that. The American Cruise Line, and they're going to make Gulfport a port of call. But this project is a Marriott tribute, 115 key. That's a high-end Marriott brand, and we're proud to know that that's going to call Gulfport its home. An outstanding restaurant on top, retail on 13th Street, game changer. And that impact will send waves of economic opportunities up Highway 49 and to the east and west of 49 into the area of North Gulfport and Orange Grove. So it's going to, transformative. And I heard your discussion with Michael Watson a while ago, and talk about the GCRF funds and the use of those funds to make an economic impact of a transformative nature. Those funds are going into the parking garage, which is a public parking garage and be owned by the public. That will be the connector between the apartments and the hotel. So without the parking garage, we wouldn't be able to have the project. So certainly that was a great use of those funds to create transformation.
Yeah, it was. That's a great example. And who knows? The developers, the numbers on making a project like this. We're talking about over $100 million. So it's no small investment. And so the difference in a project like that could be whether or not that parking garage could be built or not. It's that significant. So that's something we can offer because we have those BP funds that maybe another market that they might be going to do that development and can't offer. That's how we have to think. I am confident. I mean, you go to Biloxi now as a result of some of the announcements that have been made there. You can't even find land in downtown Gulfport now. You see what's happening in downtown Pascagoula, the number of mixed-use developments that are going in there. I mean, there's a story to tell about every community, but this will be, I can tell you, it's going to spur tremendous opportunity for future economic development, mixed use, more people living downtown. And when there's people living downtown, there's life. And that's what younger people want. That's what retirees want. There's this whole notion of live, work, and play in the same area. And this project's going to help that. Hey, listen, what's your biggest surprise so far about being mayor?
Excuse me. I can't say that I've had any real big surprises because, we've reached out all along the way during the campaign trail and tried to get to know people. And I'm making a concerted effort to reach out across the aisle, if you will. Not that we should have an aisle, but to network with members of our community that need to be brought into the fold and given opportunities to be heard. And it's been a great process, frankly. And I intend to continue to do that. So I guess, one of the things I could say that I'm surprised, pleasantly so, is that I've been receiving a warm reception in making those overtures. So that does my heart good, and I think it does our community good.
I'm not surprised by that because you have a wonderful demeanor about you that I think that draws people towards you, and people know you're like a lot of mayors in coastal Mississippi. You had a successful career. You didn't have to be mayor, but you felt this obligation to give back, and we are fortunate that you're in that position. Cal, are we out of time? Is that what I'm seeing? Hang on one second. Yeah,
yes.
Okay. So, hey, we're going to have you back here, and we're going to talk about crime and all of that. But we're out of time for today. It's been a pleasure to spend some time with you, my friend.
I appreciate it, Rick. Always a pleasure. You're doing a great job, and we appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Hugh Keating from Gulfport. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.